So if I've paused the film, what have I been working on? Well, your girl had a breakthrough with AI prose, or just prose in general, as far as writing goes, for the book Crossroads Cafe, which is not going to be kid-friendly or family-friendly. It is going to be an adult romance book. Just know that, Crossroads Cafe. So something that I have really been struggling with my prose for a long time, just as a writer, is the right way to write, right? And I think if I had to imagine, a lot of people would a lot of creators, artists, writers run into that problem with their art. What is their style? What's the right way? What's the wrong way? Techniques, X, Y, and Z. And I don't know if people feel quite this way when they're making like a painting, but I'm sure they do, where they just can't get something apart on it right. That's me with prose. Sometimes I just feel like I cannot, for pottery terms, I can't get the clay to do quite what I want it to do. I can't make it look how I see it in here, and just the translation of using my hands on it, I'm messing it up. And so with writing, I've had that same issue. I have these thoughts, these feelings, these images. How do I know how to tell a story, but do I know how to tell a story with the emotional beats and the pacing, and to give the audience the same ride that I have been experiencing in my head? That is the trick with prose. And I think for me personally as a writer, I have finally figured out what I like to not just write about, but how I like to write it, which is a very big deal for me. I'm also just going to own the fact and say this now, that I'm not going to be a major editing kind of author. I'm not. And not until I can really afford a person editor. But, in-person editors are now using AI anyway. And then everyone just gets mad that you used AI in your editing. And I can AI edit my own work to begin with. So what's even the point in that? But I am basically writing all my prose from scratch now versus having AI draft it. And that's made a huge difference. For some of you out there who struggle with writing and you rely heavily on AI drafting the prose because sitting and writing it is difficult, the trick is to identify what you find difficult about it, because there's a reason you find it difficult. And it's not just because you don't know what words to pick. It's because you don't know why you're picking the words to begin with. Do you want people to be sad? Is she supposed to be sassy? Is this not supposed to come up until later? Why? And as you feel this story in your brain, as you take the ride, you need to take the audience on the same ride. And that has just helped me as far as my writing. It's kind of honestly been a wall that I've had for probably about 10 years. And I think I've said that before with how I have AI help me with stuff, and it's really made a difference. It's significantly made a difference. So I am on chapter 3 now for the narrative draft of Crossroads Cafe. It will have a light AI edit, but it won't have much else. I'm just going to try to build this skill as writing as close to the final draft in one go as I possibly can, because I'm not a line editor. And I think that a lot of people out there are the same way. So this is a strategy that I'm employing. And I think it's a hard strategy. I'm up for the challenge. I think I can do it. I am not trying to be cocky about it. I swear I'm not. I just think that people have to be honest about where their skill levels are at with their writing, their art, their drawing, their music, their vocals. And we'll talk about some of that too, musically. Just some thoughts that I have on that as well. But I hope some of those tips help you keep creating, keep trying, wherever you're at in your creative process. Just wherever you use AI is totally fine. My top advice is use AI for repetition practice, because doing it manually takes too long. Doing anything manually takes too long, and that doesn't mean it's inferior, because it isn't. But repetition practice is its own practice, and it's very helpful. You may not be able to drive your $1 million Formula One race car on the track every single day, but you certainly can get in a sim racer and practice on the same track. And that helps. And I think that this kind of AI use is the equivalent. And I think more people should use it that way.